Marjorie Taylor Greene, this is from Huffington Post, can't figure out why people are picking on murderous white supremacists. Oh, boy. Extremist GOP Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene wondered in a weekend interview why people are picking on homicidal white supremacists. She said that there are so many other criminals to complain about instead, like undocumented immigrants.
Jail. I mean, sorry, not on the jail, on the bill for this domestic terrorism new bill that came out for the Department of Justice. And Jerry Nadler was on the House floor and he was talking about white supremacy and he was bringing up the terrible shooting that happened in New York, but totally ignoring the shooting that happened in California that I think involved an Asian man that was the shooter, totally ignoring the guy that drove his car, black man that drove his car through a Christmas parade, killing people and was a racist himself, completely ignoring the black man that did the New York subway shooting. You know, these people are all guilty of these crimes, and it's not about race. It shouldn't be about race, but they're clearly racist as well. So white supremacy shouldn't be the main target. We should be more concerned about the illegal invasion at the border, the crime happening every single day on our streets, and especially in cities like Chicago. We should go after criminals that break the law and not pursue people based on their skin color and how they vote. But that's what the Democrats want to do.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
I don't even know where to start. First of all,
can we start with the fact that the Orange County shooter, I want to talk about that for a second because I just don't know if people know this. So David Cho, I think is his name. His roommate, I have photos of his roommate with members of White Lives Matter. His roommate is absolutely 100% a neo-Nazi. So yes, he might be Asian, but that doesn't mean that he can't possibly be part of a white supremacy circle. And I don't know why some people find that so hard to accept. It's not crazy to see that. We do see it.
He also, by the way, he also didn't believe that Taiwan should be independent from China. So, which, by the way, Biden just declared that he's going to launch World War III with China over Taiwan. I did a video on that earlier, but that's he said we'll get involved if China invades, which is crazy. Anyway, so the Buffalo shooter wrote in his manifesto that he specifically wanted to kill black people.
Yeah.
So that's slightly different. That's slightly different than an Asian, a politically motivated shooting because he doesn't want Taiwan to be separate. I mean, they're both awful. But one person specifically drove over 3 hours to target black people, which is not the exception. There's been an increase of hate crimes under Trump since 2016. Black hate crimes, Jewish hate crimes, Asian hate crimes against Asian people. So she knows what she's doing. She knows she's just trying to throw out red herrings because this is what extremist Republicans do. They say you're racist if you make it about race. That's racist.
No. Yeah, no. And it's just frustrating to me because she's using one superficial thing, phenotypical trademark of skin color as a definition for everything that she's saying there. When some of these situations are far more complex, right-wing extremism is what ties all of this together, whether it's neo-fascism, neo-nationalism. There's a reason that David Chow was hanging out with a White Lives Matter neo-Nazi and living with him. There's a reason that was happening. Right. You can't tell me that they weren't discussing where their political beliefs unite together.
Well, it's also, we should share that, small detail that Marjorie Taylor Greene spoke at a white nationalist conference.
Oh, she 100% did. She was a.
Wait, I just want to show it.
Yeah, America First, Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, so Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene on Sunday downplayed her attendance and speaking slot at a fringe right-wing conference with ties to white nationalists. Right. Greene was in Orlando speaking at the Conservative Political Action Conference, was also a surprise guest miles away at the America First Political Action Conference with Nick Fuentes. Tell them who Nick Fuentes is.
Nick Fuentes is a neo-Nazi. He's the founder of this movement called Groyper, but they're legitimately 100% neo-Nazis. They're not shying away from that at all. So, I mean, and people need to understand, I'm not calling randos who are slightly racist Nazis. I'm calling people that are actually Nazis, okay? So when I say that, I do mean that. These are guys that are associated with Goyim TV, White Lives Matter. Some of them, like Johnny Benitez, used to be a Proud Boy, and then that just wasn't racist enough for him. Robert Weldon is another one. He used to be a Proud Boy, but now he's part of running this White Lives Matter. He's one of the guys that I confronted on the overpass when I asked him what Proud Boys weren't racist enough for you. Notice he had no response to that. So, but these guys are incredibly radicalized. And I think most Americans see this, whether or not people in political positions of power or law enforcement do is another conversation. But right-wing violence, right-wing extremism is infinitely way more deadly than anything you'll ever see on the left, ever. Like, that's just a fact of the matter. If you look at every mass shooting, racially motivated hate crimes, all of these things, murders that happen, for every 400 you see coming from the right, you might see an assault on the left. It's just not comparable. Yet people in positions of power, law enforcement, politicians, are constantly trying to say that they're equally bad when they're not. Antifa is not going around murdering people. They're just, people that are with that movement just aren't doing that. They commit crimes of property damage, right? Break windows, vandalism, things of this nature. But they're not walking into churches and shooting people up.
Right. No, they're not. But it's not just Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean,
it's not. It's not.
Trump shared CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference.
Yeah.
For some reason, they're now expanding to Hungary.
Yes, it's a global. I've been saying this: fascism, neo-fascism that we see here in the United States, it is part of a global movement, and it's very dangerous. As it increases abroad, and these people are all kind of congregating together now in person, as we're seeing, but previously online in chat rooms on Telegram, Gab, Post, what have you. They're able to reach out and find like-minded individuals, and they're radicalizing each other online. And now we're seeing it happen in person. I'm actually legitimately concerned in a way that I have never been. Like, I've always been a little bit concerned, as you know, but even we'll talk about this in a second, where the Nazis were marching down, driving down and walking on Santa Monica Boulevard with.
Right. Well, this is Trump shared CPAC Hungary platform with a notorious racist and anti-Semite. Tucker Carlson did too, by the way.
Yeah.
Glenn Greenwald's tweeting about that. A notorious Hungarian racist who called Jews stinking excrement, referred to Roma as animals, and used racial epithets to describe black people, was a featured speaker at a major gathering of U.S. Republicans in Budapest. Zsolt Bayer took the stage at the second day of CPAC Hungary, a convention that also featured speeches from Donald Trump, Fox News host Tucker Carlson, and former Trump White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. And
and Jack Posobiec, can we talk about that?
Yeah, Jack Posobiec. Yep.
I mean, yes. He was there. He was also in the news today because I guess he was picked up by this police in Switzerland. We don't know why. But, this guy, he's like trying to clean up his act, right? I took screenshots of his old Twitter account before he pulled everything down and tried to, clean up his act. He had pictures on there, and I have copies of them. I don't know. I sent them to Colin if he wants to show. I have photos of Jack doing, a Sieg Heil in front of a swastika flag, for example. I have him communicating with Richard Spencer back and forth in a chummy kind of way. Like, I mean, the guy, definitely using the triple parentheses when talking about, Jewish journalists and media professionals. So the fact that he's trying to clean up his act now and claim he's a journalist is fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. And, I was in the early years of Trump, when I was at the Young Turks and when we started Status Coup, I was pretty careful not to do the Hitler comparisons. I was pretty careful not even to call him a fascist, because to me, words have meaning. I thought he was vile. I thought he was racist. But I think when you start going to fascism, you have to take that seriously, because it kind of weakens the meaning if you call everyone who's vile a fascist. But I'm not doing that now. I mean, Trump, between the election stuff, which fascists steal elections, and now also, in addition to joining this, sharing the stage with that anti-Semite racist, Trump was gabbing on his Truth Social platform over the weekend, and he said civil war, basically floating a civil war. Donald Trump has been criticized for sharing a Truth Social post that read civil war. Former president set up the social media site after he was banned. The civil war comment, written by user MAGA King Thanos, oh boy, was in response to was in response to a screenshot of a March 20th tweet by El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, which was shared by former CBS News correspondent Lara Logan, another nutcase. In the tweet, Bukele wrote, "The most powerful country in the world is falling so fast that it makes you rethink what are the real reasons. Something so big and powerful can't be destroyed so quickly unless the enemy comes from within." The tweet cited a Bloomberg op-ed headlined, "Inflation stings most if you earn less than 300,000." And in response to Trump's repost,
hang on. That's like 95% of the country. Is that an actual headline?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what to call it. We cover the Democratic Party critically. The Democratic Party, to me, is also fascist, just in different ways. Yeah. Obama let what happened at Standing Rock go on. That was the definition of fascism.
I agree.
You got police that we pay for.
He also more whistleblowers than any president before him. These are just facts.
Yep, Biden's going after Assange. I mean, to me, that's what fascists do, go after journalists. But there's different types of fascism. You got corporate fascism. You got white supremacist fascism, neo-Nazi fascism. And honestly, I mean, it's not a dog whistle anymore. It's not even a wink and a nod. They're just embracing straight up fascism.
Yeah, great. They're openly, like it's a good thing. You know,
and wait, they're doing it under the guise of faux populism, which is also
yes, you're correct.
What Hitler and others did. Mm-hmm. So Tucker Carlson, occasionally, I mean, by the way, Tucker Carlson is from wealth, has had a spoon in his mouth his whole life. But when Tucker Carlson puts out some platitudes about the working man and criticizes Jeff Bezos, people suddenly think he's a man of the workers. I mean, he's been for every tax cut that I know of for wealthy people. He's not pro-union that I know of. He's not pro-Medicare for all that I know of. He's pretty much your country club Republican, but he tosses out a couple platitudes about the struggling masses, and people think, oh, he's populist, and then they listen to his great replacement insanity and other things.
Yeah. Should we talk about that for a second? Great replacement nonsense does have roots in Nazism. That's just not a hyperbolic statement either. So, and I would like to tie this actually into a portion of the Christian right that actually one of the main drivers that they have for being against abortion is they're relating it to this replacement theory idea, right? Because not enough white women are having babies. Like, if you listen to some of them go through their rhetoric, you're just like, what are you saying? Are you serious right now? But they really believe this stuff. And it's really dangerous. I mean, the othering that leads to, it's obvious why this is leading to violence, because at first it's just like, okay, I'm losing my job because we have immigrants. Then it morphs into the next level, and then it becomes more radicalized where it's now like, okay, it's white genocide. White people are going to be genocided by brown and black people. We're the minority, right? But here's the reality. Globally, white people have always been the minority.
Right.
Always.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we can talk about how it is that colonialism actually happened and all of these other things, but we've never been a majority population.
No, not globally, for sure.
Not globally, yeah. I'm specifically meaning globally, yes.
Speaking of great replacement, which, you had Glenn Greenwald and others twisting themselves into the knots to defend Tucker Carlson. Now there's apparently great replacement trucks going around in Los Angeles. Colin, let's show this clip.
So the guy in the black shirt that just got out, that's the black sun symbol for the Nazis.
95% European. Just some assholes. 95% European. I can't believe they're just leaving them alone. No, I said Jewish lives matter most. He had a hat on with the Jewish curls down the side.
Yeah, so they're making fun of Jewish people, making fun of gay people.
Come here. Hey, come here. You got balls. Come here.
Yes, he heard it.
He keeps sending me. Wanna go put your papers down, you fucking pussy. Come here. I'm gonna show you what's happening. Hey, bitch, come here. Your mother.
They're leaving.
Your mother.
Alan, can you rewind it? Can you rewind it and go to the, zoom in? Yeah, there we go. So this is what it says. Get to work. Your greatest ally isn't going to fund itself. Jewish lives matter most. And the guy in the bus comes out wearing the black sun symbol, which is a
neo-Nazi symbol. Yeah, it's a black sun symbol.
So yeah, I mean, that's just rolling around LA.
Did you catch the part where he actually says there's nothing wrong with being a Nazi? I don't know if you caught
Yeah, I did hear that.
So my thing when I saw this, my first thought was like, damn it, how did I miss this? Because I want to get out there and film everything. But I was also like, holy hell, these guys are becoming more emboldened by the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what worries me. They're not even embarrassed or ashamed to say there's nothing wrong with being a Nazi. That's where we are in 2022, and that is scary.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in to Status Coup's daily live stream Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time and Fridays at 4 o'clock Eastern Time.